Well, this is an important day, Veterans Day, and we have to make every day Veterans Day. It's very, very important that we take good care of those who have borne the battle, and I want to thank all of our veterans who are here, all of our veterans who are across Illinois, over 1 million veterans, across our country, millions and millions of veterans. And my father was a veteran of the United States Navy. He served in World War II on the aircraft carrier Bonhomme Richard. He was in the Navy 3 years, 1 month, and 15 days. And that was his public service. And all of those who have rendered service to our democracy on this Veterans Day, it's very important that all of us on the home front take good care of the veterans who have borne the battle. That's what Abraham Lincoln said a long time ago, 150 years ago, during the Civil War. And we're the land of Lincoln. And we want to show our nation, all of the people of America, that when it comes to helping our veterans, making sure they have a good job, making sure they have decent health care, making sure they have an education, top-notch education, and have everything that they need when they return to civilian life. That is our job. That is our mission. We have to honor our veterans. And as you know, this is a wonderful place, providing housing to some veterans who are homeless and to other veterans who need affordable housing. This is one of our #1 missions here in Illinois, to make sure that we take good care of all of our veterans, especially when it comes to shelter, to make sure that they have a good place to come home to every night. If they're looking for a job or they're doing a job, they have a sound place, a safe place in which to lay their head on the pillow every night. And Hope Manor, that our state helped build with the federal government and city of Chicago, this is a very special place. You can just walk outside of this wonderful building and see firsthand the love and care that went into making this a reality. And I was here on a very hot day a couple years ago when we opened the Hope Manor up, and this is a comprehensive facility to make sure that we not only provide the housing, but everything else our veterans need to go forward in civilian life. And we understand how important it is that we, on the home front, can help this mission. And that's what Veterans Cash is all about. I remember very distinctly when this law passed. I was lieutenant governor at the time, and it passed the House of Representatives at 11:55 p.m. on the last day of the legislative session. I think it was in 2006. That meant we had 5 minutes to get it past the Senate. By midnight, that's the deadline, you know, everything changes at midnight. And so we were able to get the bill out of the House and dash over to the Senate and get it passed by midnight of that important year. And that's how it all started. The concept is everyone who wants to, it's totally voluntary, can play a lottery game. It costs $2. I've played it every year. Sometimes you win, but even if you don't win yourself, Illinois and our veterans win every time you play. And this has been a very important fundraising mechanism, a vehicle to raise money for important missions to help our veterans. Whether it's Hope Manor here or 218 other organizations have received funding from Veterans Cash since it began. Over $11 million has been raised through this program in this game. And all the money that comes into the lottery for this goes to help our veterans, and we'll hear about that, how important that is. So whether it's Hope Manor, we not only have Hope Manor 1 here, but we're working on Hope Manor 2 that is being built right now on the south side of Chicago. And the purpose of Veterans Cash, provide health care for our veterans. There are some veterans who are not in the VA system, so it's important that they get the health care they need. Also provides assistance with respect to housing that we mentioned, and job and employment assistance, helping veterans with disability benefits. There's a number of purposes that the organizations who get grants from Veterans Cash, they can get help from this program. And so it's important that we band together here this month of November into December. These tickets will be all across Illinois at the various lottery operators there. And I'm going to be on the road today with Erica Borgwin, our Director of Veterans Affairs, and here today is Rodrigo Garcia, our Assistant Director of Veterans Affairs. Both of them served in our military. Erica was in Iraq. Rodrigo was in the United States Marine. Birthday of the Marines was yesterday. Semper Fi. That means Semper Fidelis, always faithful. We want to thank our Marines and all of our service members from whatever branch of service. It's important today to pause and thank our veterans for their service, but remember, tomorrow and the next day and the next day and every day, it's important to make sure that we roll up our sleeves and say thank you to our veterans in a tangible way. So playing Veterans Cash, if that's your idea or your option, totally voluntary, is a great way to help. $11 million that goes to organizations that directly help our veterans. I also want to thank the American Legion, the VFW, and all of our veteran service organizations. They're our partners. We work together to make sure our veterans know their rights, know their opportunities with respect to benefits. It's important that we all do this, work together, making sure that it all happens in a proper way. That's what our state is all about.
I have the privilege of actually sitting on the committee that awards these grants out, that looks at all the applications for the grants that are funded by the purchase of these Vets Cash tickets. And that's one of the most wonderful parts of my job, because it's really inspiring to see the work that's happening day in and day out by all of these organizations. We've awarded grants so that veterans can receive urgently needed dental work, so that they can have a roof over their heads, so that they can participate in recreational therapies for post-traumatic stress, you name it. The breadth and I think most importantly, the impact of the work that is underway because of Veterans Cash is tremendous. It's $11 million worth of tremendous, as Governor Quinn said. And we look to add another $1 million to that this year through the launch of the ticket that we are revealing today. Vets Cash really does make big things happen in the lives of veterans. You see that in the lives of veterans who reside here at Hope Manor, and you see it in the stories of veterans all across our state. But it's even bigger than just that, just the impact that it makes in individual lives of veterans, because veterans are among our most proven public servants, and most of them have in their very DNA, even after they take off the uniform, a desire to serve and to be part of something larger than themselves. So a veteran that's empowered to have a roof over their heads, to be healthy, to overcome post-traumatic stress is more often than not a veteran that's a great resource for our communities. And this is something that every Illinois citizen can be a part of, to help mobilize and empower this community to thrive here at home, to benefit our companies and our communities in the same way that they served our whole country when they were in uniform. It really is big. And it's something that every Illinois citizen can be a part of. It's an honor to help launch the ticket today and be part of a team that Governor Quinn leads, to be fully mobilized in serving veterans in very unique and impactful ways. Thanks.
The governor just described his activities in making Veterans Cash a reality. I've mentioned this before, but he follows in the footsteps of Benjamin Franklin, who had the same task to convince a city council, just like he had to convince the legislature, to use a lottery to raise money to buy cannon to protect Philadelphia during the French and Indian War. So it's a long and proud history of using lotteries to raise money for things that people believe in. I'm a veteran, except for, I think the governor and I are at the same age, actually. And if the pendulum of history had shifted slightly left or right, he and I's background could have been much differently. Vietnam was our war. I missed it because of a quirk of history. I went to Europe afterwards, and I was hitchhiking around. I was in Paris, and I remembered last night that I was remarking about how when you rode the Paris metro way back when, there was a seat right next to the door, and the seat said it was only for the gueule cassée. Now, what was gueule cassée? I took high school French. I had no idea. I looked it up when I came home, and I looked it up again last night. Gueule cassés were the broken faces, those veterans of World War I French who had been horribly mutilated. And the French National Lottery was organized to generate money to help those people, very much like Veterans Cash. It is a long history of using lotteries for a number of things, but supporting veterans is one of the key things that a lottery can do. And by doing that, you introduce the concept of what a lottery is all about to a wide range of Illinois citizens. There isn't a person in this room, there isn't a person in this state that doesn't know or is related to a veteran of one of our conflicts or one of our armed services. And I finally figured out between last Veterans Cash and this Veterans Cash as to what the marketing campaign for Veterans Cash should be. If the governor and I and Erica could shake hands with every adult in the state of Illinois and say, did you know that the lottery has a game? It costs $2. You can win $20,000 instantly. But if you don't win, all of the money goes to programs like this program. I would bet you that 100% of all of the adults in the state of Illinois would say, I would buy that ticket. So Erica and the governor are going to go around the state. I'm going to go around Chicago, And we're going to enlist your help, we hope, to virtually or in person shake hands with every citizen of the state of Illinois and say, Veterans Cash is on sale.
You know, I echo the words that have been said here already, that investing in veterans programs is really investment in the future of Illinois and the United States. The men and women who volunteer for military service during time of war, who serve bravely and honorably, are the leaders of tomorrow. By assisting those who suffer from PTSD, by assisting with health insurance costs, helping young men and women thrive despite service-related disabilities, and assisting with housing, such as this facility, you are really investing in the future and really the heart of this country. I say the heart because our veterans, through their own spirit of volunteerism, patriotism, and service, have willingly given so much to our communities, our state, and our country. How we treat them after they return is a reflection on our nation. It is important that while these operations in Afghanistan are winding down, that some of our veterans are still suffering from both external and internal wounds that will need the recovery long after these wars fade away. These women and men have given much more and contribute ultimately to the challenges that they have in this country. Veterans that struggle with disabilities and homeless and unemployment can overcome these challenges. They reach their potential as best citizens in the best state, in the best country of the world. The funds from Illinois Veterans Assistance Funds are not handouts, they are investments. As a military leader, I thank the citizens of Illinois for these investments in the airmen and soldiers of this great state. I thank you on behalf of the airmen of the Illinois Air National Guard 217th Engineering Installation Squadron, who returned from Afghanistan this Saturday. They returned after several long months of combat. And I would like to thank all the servicemen here who have given so much, and for all the veterans on this day. On behalf of the 20,000 Illinois National Guardsmen who have returned from harm's way overseas since September 11th, and those soldiers and airmen include the 34 Illinois Guardsmen who have gave their ultimate sacrifice. I'd particularly like to thank the families and employers of the veterans who continue to support service members around the state. I am proud to be a citizen of the state of Illinois that values contributions of veterans and service members. Thank you.
Well said there, General. Well